Hey besties, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is sending shockwaves through the Sister Wives fandom. Because for the first time in a long time, Robyn's true feelings for Kody Brown might be showing, and they are not what anyone expected. Viewers who followed Robyn since she joined the Brown family know she's always presented herself as loyal, supportive, and endlessly patient with Kody, but now, something feels different. In the latest episode, Robyn's mask seems to slip, revealing the exhaustion, resentment, and frustration that's been simmering under the surface for years. The moment started off innocently enough. The family was having yet another tense discussion about their future finances, property, emotional distance, all the same things we've watched disintegrating since Christine left. But this time, instead of Robyn jumping to Kody's defense as she normally does, she seemed defeated. Her voice was cracking. Her tone shifted, and for once, she didn't rush to take his side. And fans picked up on it immediately. Social media blew up with posts like "Robyn looks done, and for the first time, she's not even pretending to care anymore." It was subtle, but the energy was completely different. You could see it in her eyes. She wasn't angry, she was disappointed. The same kind of disappointment you see when someone finally realizes the person they've been defending for years isn't the hero they thought he was. The more Kody talked, the worse it got. His usual defensive tone, his blame shifting, his long speeches about loyalty, it all seemed to push Robyn further away, instead of pulling her closer. What really shocked viewers was the fact that Robyn didn't interrupt him, didn't nod in agreement, didn't even fake a supportive smile. She just sat there, arms crossed, eyes glazed, like she was somewhere else altogether. And in that silence, fans saw what they'd been waiting for all these years, a glimpse of the real Robyn. Not the one TLC edits into the devoted wife narrative, but the woman who's realizing that being Kody's favorite comes with a heavy price. In fact, some think this may mark a turning point in their relationship, the moment Robyn stops trying to hold the family together and starts thinking about herself for once. But what exactly was the final straw that pushed her to this point? And what did she mean when she later told producers that she doesn't recognize Kody anymore? Stay tuned, because in the next part, we're going to dive into the emotional tension behind that moment. What was really happening off camera? And why fans believe Robyn might finally be ready to walk away. As the cameras kept rolling, the tension between Kody and Robyn became almost unbearable. You could feel it through the screen. That quiet kind of anger that doesn't need shouting to be understood. Kody was rambling about loyalty and betrayal, revisiting the same old story about how Christine's departure broke the family. But Robyn's expression said it all. She was tired, not just of the argument, but of the cycle, the endless blaming, the emotional outbursts, the constant defense of a man who's been losing control for years. When Kody started finger-pointing again, talking about how no one ever listens to him and how he's the only one fighting for the family, Robyn finally snapped, not in a loud, dramatic way, but in that cutting, quiet tone that left everyone frozen. She said, "You're not fighting for this family, Kody, you're fighting for control." That line hit like a bombshell. Even the producer seemed stunned, as Robyn has never publicly contradicted Kody before. Not like that. For years, she's been made out to be the peacemaker, the glue of the family, the wife that never confronted her husband. But in that moment, it all came undone. Her frustration boiled over as she questioned Kody's priorities, wondering why he always seemed to take pride over people. Viewers caught on immediately, with one even writing online, "Robyn's finally seeing what the other wives saw years ago." The look on Kody's face said it all, pure shock. He didn't expect Robyn, his most staunch defender, to call him out. For a split second, he looked almost vulnerable, maybe even a little scared, as though he knew in that moment the one person he could count on was slipping away. But instead of backing down or listening, he did what Kody does, deflected. He turned it back on her, accusing her of not understanding how much pressure he's under, saying that no one appreciates how hard this is. That's when something in Robyn's voice changed. It cracked, but not because she was angry, because she was hurt. "Do you think it's easy for me?" she asked, welling up. "I've tried to hold this together, Kody, but you've made it impossible." You could hear a pin drop after that. Kody just stared, silent, maybe realizing that for the first time, his control over Robyn was fading. And people couldn't get now. Socials blew up with the reactions, calling it the most real moment Robyn's ever had. Some even claimed it to be the first time they'd ever felt sorry for her, seeing how tired and emotionally drained she's really been. Others believe she's starting to see Kody the way Christine, Janelle, and Mary eventually did, not as a leader or protector, but as the source of the pain. But what's even more intriguing about this moment is something fans may have overlooked. A subtle hint that Robyn's frustration didn't come out of nowhere. It had been building up backstage for months. Next, We reveal what was actually going on off-screen, signs that Robyn's loyalty has been cracking long before this blow-up, and how Kody's latest behavior finally might have pushed her too far. According to insiders close to the Brown family behind the cameras, things were reportedly unraveling long before Robyn's outburst made it to air. Multiple sources close to the Browns have hinted that Robyn has been walking on eggshells around Kody for months, trying to keep the peace while quietly breaking inside. It's the same pattern we saw with Christine: soft-spoken exhaustion, subtle withdrawal, realization love alone isn't enough when control and resentment have taken over. People close to the production team have said that Kody's temper has been worse than ever since the other wives left. He's frustrated, defensive, and feels cornered. The man who once called himself a spiritual leader of a big plural family is now living like a recluse, isolated with the one wife that stuck around. But here's the kicker: that isolation has turned toxic. The very relationship that Kody once bragged was the strongest has become suffocating, and Robyn is starting to feel it. She has been trying to keep up appearances, the soft smiles, the comforting tone, but off camera, sources say she has been overwhelmed. Kody's constant negativity, bitterness toward the other wives, and his obsession with controlling have made their marriage a war zone. And when she told him during filming, "I don't even know who you are anymore," that wasn't scripted. It was real. She's watching the man she once adored spiral deeper into resentment, and she doesn't know how to stop it. One of the most telling moments came during a confessional segment that'll reportedly cut down for the final edit. Robyn hinted that she feels trapped in a story that is no longer hers. She said something along the lines of, "I believed in this family, in the principle, but it's like everything I thought was sacred has turned into a nightmare." That's not just heartbreak, that's disillusionment. She's beginning to realize that what she had defended all these years might have been built on a foundation of lies, guilt, and emotional manipulation. Viewers also picked up on another subtle sign: how her tone changed toward the other wives. In earlier seasons, Robyn often sounded defensive or dismissive, repeating Kody's lines about disloyalty or betrayal, but this time, an edge of regret seems to have crept in. When she said, "I miss the big family," fans remarked that her voice trembled. Some say she is only now realizing that the unity she claimed to value disappeared because of the man she has protected all along. Her very body language tells the story: folded arms, less eye contact, long pause before responding to Kody's comments. The same woman who hunched forward during his speeches now leans away. It's not defiance, it's emotional distance. She's detaching. And that detachment terrifies Kody because deep down, he knows once Robyn stops defending him, his whole world crumbles. But the kicker is, sources close to the Browns say Robyn has already privately reached out to family members. Kody cut ties with even Christine, improbable as that may sound. A couple of reports online have been saying she reaches out quietly in search of understanding, or perhaps forgiveness. Fans believe that if those conversations are real, it's a sign that Robyn's loyalty is shifting. She's starting to rebuild her own support system outside of Kody's control. And if that's true, everything changes. Because for the first time since she joined the family, Robyn won't be the silent observer, the obedient partner, but possibly the next to walk away. In the next and final part, we'll look at some of the signs pointing toward that possibility and the emotional moment that could mark the true beginning of the end for Kody and Robyn's marriage. When the cameras stopped rolling that night, something in Robyn changed. Those who were there said she didn't cry the way she usually does. She didn't chase after Kody to smooth things over or explain herself. She just sat still, quiet, distant, unreadable. It was the kind of silence that feels final, like a door closing slowly behind you. Kody couldn't stand the silence, and he began to pace, mumbling to himself, trying to ring the conversation back around to his advantage. "You don't understand what I've been through, Robyn," he said, his voice rising. "I'm the only one who's still trying." But Robyn didn't look up. She just whispered, "Trying for what, Kody? For the cameras? For your pride? Because it's not for us anymore." She simply rose and walked out of the room. No shouting, no crying. Only the fading sound of her footsteps down the hallway. That was the moment everyone realized this wasn't another argument. This was something deeper, something permanent. People close to the production crew say he stayed behind after she left, staring at the empty chair she'd been sitting in. For years, that chair had been his comfort, the place where Robyn would listen, agree, and make him feel like he was still in control. But now, it was just empty. And that emptiness seemed to hit them harder than anything the other wives had ever done. Later, during her confessional, Robyn said something that stopped everyone cold. With tears welling up, she looked straight at the camera and said, "I don't hate him. I just don't love who he's become." She paused for a long time before adding, "Maybe I don't love who I've become either." That's not a line you say when you were angry. That's a line you say when you've reached the end. It's haunting to watch because we've seen this story before. Christine tried to make it work until she couldn't. Janelle held on until the weight broke her. Mary kept believing until there was nothing left to believe in. And now it's Robyn's turn to face that same truth. The truth that no amount of loyalty, no amount of sacrifice can save a marriage that was built on control instead of love. The next day, Robyn reportedly skipped filming, something she's almost never done. The crew waited for hours, but she didn't show. When producers called, she said she needed space. Kody told them she was just emotional. But deep down, he knew. Everyone did. Because this wasn't about emotions anymore. This was about survival. Ever since, the internet has been abuzz with fans analyzing every look, every gesture, every pause between them. Some fans believe that Robyn is pulling a Christine and quietly planning her exit. Others think she's waiting for the right moment, the moment when she can finally tell her story. On her own terms. And if that's true, it could be the most explosive revelation Sister Wives has ever seen. Because if Robyn, the wife who stayed when everyone else walked away, finally decides to leave, then it's not just the end of her marriage. It's the end of Kody Brown's illusion. The illusion that he ever had control, the illusion that he was still the leader of his family. And maybe, just maybe, it's the start of Robyn finally reclaiming her voice. One she buried for so long under loyalty and fear. But here's the kicker: in the last minutes of filming, just as the crew was wrapping up, one of the producers reportedly saw Robyn outside, phone in hand with tears in her eyes. But smiling. Who was she talking to? Was it one of the other wives? A friend, or someone new? Nobody knows yet. One thing, though, is perfectly evident: whatever that call was, it wasn't about Thepist. It was about what comes next. And for the first time in years, Robyn Brown might finally be free and ready to tell the truth the world's been waiting to hear. The room was quiet. The cameras had stopped. The lights dimmed. But that tension, that sharp, electric silence still clung to the air like smoke. Kody sat there, eyes hollow, the weight of every choice he's ever made crashing down all at once. For years, he thought he could control the story. The wives, the family, the narrative, everything. But now, sitting alone, he finally understood what he had lost. And then, the door creaked open. Her footsteps echoed down the hall, slow and steady. She didn't look back at him, not once. Her eyes were puffy but clear. Her expression calm to calm. She walked past him, grabbing her coat. And in the near-silent murmur of her voice whispered, almost to herself, "I'm done living in a story that isn't mine." Kody turned to say something, but the words never came. The door clicked shut behind her. And then something strange happened. Kody smiled. Not a happy smile. The kind that chills you. The kind that hides fear under denial. He looked into the camera and muttered, "She'll come back." They always come back, but will she? Because this time, Robyn isn't running away out of emotion. She's walking away with purpose. The quiet kind of exit that doesn't need cameras or tears, just truth. Outside, the wind howled through the trees. The last flicker of light from the house faded behind her. And somewhere in the dark, a phone buzzed. Robyn stopped and looked at the screen, smiling softly. Who was on the other end? A friend. Does that make her a former wife? Or maybe someone new? No one knows, not yet. But one thing is certain: the next chapter of Sister Wives won't be about Kody holding his family together. It will be about the women finally breaking free, and Robyn, she just may be the last one to shatter what's left of his empire, one truth at a time. The camera fades out on that image, Kody alone in his now empty house, staring at the door she just walked through. And for the first time, he looks scared. Because deep down, he knows, when Robyn finally speaks, the truth she's been hiding might destroy everything.